We won't.
Good Health by Claudia, podcast with me, Denny Schaefer, a production of Denny Radio. This is episode 43. Yay! Woo! Today, it's all about the inflammation. All about the inflammation. Information about inflammation.
Right.
I know it's confusing. We just like to have fun. Remember, the information contained in these podcasts is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health conditions. Please consult a qualified healthcare professional if you do have a medical condition. The FDA has not evaluated the information on this podcast, which represents the opinions of the hosts and or guests. Today, we're talking about inflammation, antioxidants, immune support, what sugar does to your body, and you don't even know what it's doing it. We are packed, locked, and loaded, Claudia.
Yes, we are. And
so
happy to be
what
here.
is, when you sent me the notes, I mean, I get what, inflammation, antioxidants, I get what all of that is. What is andrographis?
Andrographis. We've mentioned it in other episodes because I love all herbs, but andrographis is one of my favorite because it's so supportive to the immune system. And it has many other benefit, but it's a product that I thought it would be nice to go over. And Beverly Clark, our guest, she does a great job representing the company. And we're going to talk about the benefits of turmeric and the anti-inflammatory benefits and get into a little bit of a conversation about this. And we're also going to talk about polyphenols, which you and I have talked about in the past, but we keep talking about these things because everybody's just learning these different words. So French grapeseed extract is very rich in activity that's very protective to the cells and a wonderful antioxidant. So we're going to get into all that.
You know what I want to do once we get our own studio, because we're working on a studio, the Good Health by Claudia podcast studio. I think what we ought to do is have a chalkboard behind us, and you just write out what we're talking about, and just like in school.
Well, I told Jim I want to be able to write things out so people can see these big words. And
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, let's bring in our guest. It's Beverly Clark. Beverly is a representative for Terry Naturally Vitamins. Beverly, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi.
What part of the country are you in, Beverly?
In Ohio.
What part of
Ohio? Between Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton. We are smack dab in a rural city. We live out in the country, and it's really great.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, nice. So
I didn't realize you were that close and that you were in Ohio.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can get you to drive up to Claudia's studio once that gets done this fall. That'll be
nice. Definitely.
All right, Claudia, where would you like to start? Because it's all about the inflammation and the information about inflammation.
It is. I just want to mention Terry Naturally, the company itself. Beverly, how long have you been with you've been in the industry a long time, correct?
Yes. My mother was ill for 20 years, didn't know what it was, why, and it ended up being low blood sugar, which then changed our whole family. Just simple from the diet and then supplements with vitamin minerals. So she ended up opening up a health food store, and I was 17. So I'm 62 and I've been in the industry over 40 years. So it's just been, and then my husband and I bought the store from her. She opened up a health food store, and then they retired, my mom and dad. And so we had it for years, and then we sold it. And now I started a company for educating and causing health awareness. It's BNC Health Awareness, because there's so much information that
there's so much to learn. Yes.
And that's why we do the podcast. We get the information out. Now, remember, we're talking to people like me that aren't seasoned pros. I mean, Claudia raised by a mother on health food and all the goodness there. And that led to Claudia having her store. Yeah. And then Beverly, similar thing. Your mom got sick. You guys went down the health food road, and you're in the industry. So you guys can talk at a level that I can't talk with you. But we want to make sure that, people that are watching and listening will be able to understand. So Claudia, where do you want to start today?
Okay. So before we jump into the products, I just want to say, Beverly, we're very blessed that we have been raised in this industry, aren't we? Well,
Yes.
I feel that way. I feel very, very
Oh,
blessed, and I pray every
definitely.
day
Yeah.
that more people will have the opportunity to, which is why Denny said what we're doing, what we're doing. But I think it's interesting because so many people in our industry, we always talk about the heart and soul of our industry are the independent mom and pop stores. And your story is a perfect story. Your mother sought things to help her heal. And that's how so many people have come in our industry. They went the allopathic route and they couldn't quite get to where they wanted to be. And that's when they start looking at the beauty of nutrition and supplementation. So it's a very cool story. So anyway, thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you. And let me tell you really quick, though, because while my mother was so ill, I was the fourth pregnancy that she had. By the time she was pregnant with me, she was actually put on prescription, well, they weren't even the amphetamines during the pregnancy. And
Oh,
who knows,
wow.
63 years ago, I am sure they were never tested with pregnancy or anything. So when I was born, I was pretty much born with a chemical imbalance. And it came out and very apparent in my teenage puberty years, which honestly, if it wasn't ordained that my mother was able to find a nutritionist doctor, a natural doctor,
Yes.
I would probably be on a slew of medications.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thankful for. And that's where mom sometimes she zeroed in on the mental health and chemical imbalance so
Yes.
much.
Yes.
She wrote a book on ADHD, hyperkinesis, learning disabilities.
Oh my
and
goodness.
And had a slew of, it was all recipes and instructions on how to go to the store and shop, because people who are sick, they don't know where to begin.
Right.
So she held their hand through this cookbook on go into this store and this is what you buy. And then the recipe.
Very cool.
So
that's very cool. That's a great
I'm
story.
very blessed for that.
Yeah.
And I want to help people. That's what I really want to do.
Yes. Well, isn't that the heart and soul of what the industry is about?
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Yes.
We're here because we want to help people, and we want to help people that want to help themselves. So it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so let's get into some of the products. Why don't we start with the OPCs? One of those big words that Denny said, what is that word? So we've talked about polyphenols, and I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, so the OPC stands for, it's a really long name. We don't even have to try to make everybody memorize it.
Right.
So, but just like ascorbic acid is something from an orange, but oranges are made up of a lot of different things.
Yes.
OPC is something that you can extract from a French grapeseed, or the grapeseed. So what's wonderful is the clinical testing that has been done on this, and with the human bodies, through almost all diseases, heart disease, and then to cancer. So what I try to say sometimes is we talk about from the very bottom, like maybe pain and that inflammation causes, and all the way up through all the diseases up to cancer, probably being maybe the worst, that is caused from inflammation. So the thing that I realized when we owned the health food store is that we talk like this, but people don't even know what inflammation is. And so they believe what we say. So when we had the health food store, we would tell them to buy blueberries. They were high on this ORAC scale, ORAC scale, that stands for a long name too. And but they didn't understand why they needed it. And it's the antioxidant scale. And I know that Claudia has already educated a lot on antioxidants. So,
but let's go over why they're so important. Let's repeat it. A simple explanation of antioxidants.
Okay, so if you have a foreign toxin or a foreign product going up, like a pollen or dust, go up your nose, what is the natural reaction to your body? Your natural reaction is to sneeze. And what then comes from that? A mucus reaction, inflammation. Okay, so when you cut yourself, and so if you cut your arm, the body's natural reaction is to go into 911 mode and have these white blood cells go and begin to heal. Yes. But what happens if you, the next day, you cut it in the same place, and then that inflammatory response naturally in our bodies that we were created with happens again? Then over time, if it doesn't heal, we're going to end up, possibly you could lose your arm, but you could really have trouble if you continue creating this 911 response.
This stress,
and so this inflammation is created. So whether it's stress inside the body that might be causing an overreaction of cortisol and adrenaline and a whole slew of hormones that after you calm down from your stress, those hormones might settle down. But if you are in chronic stress, like several times a day, it's going to repeat. And this adrenaline response or the response will create then some inflammation, possibly to land on your cells, which then out of our trillions of cells, if we have inflammation on them, they can't work properly and they actually communicate with each other. So what we want to do is avoid an inflammatory response inside of our body. If we sneeze, we know it and we blow our nose. But if it's inside, we are not aware. That's where we're at right now. And Terry Lemeron, he is really on the cutting edge. So when my mother had a store and I was a teenager, Terry owned another vitamin company. And whenever he introduced something into the United States, like even glucosamine sulfate, chondroitin, different things, and standardized herbs, ginkgo biloba. He was one of the very first ones that standardized herbs. Mm-hmm. So he's been in this industry so long, on the cutting edge, introducing into America, because the FDA doesn't approve, like over in Europe and other countries, France and all of that, that they're in their medicine cabinets. These products are in medicine cabinets over there, but here they're not. So no matter what, when when French grapeseed started in all these studies for it was phenomenal. It was like, whoa, it's really kicking disease, to the wayside and cancer. So, but there was a problem. And the problem was that there were companies that were cheapening it. And the way that I can explain that is you have a grapeseed, and one of the products from that, one of the components of it is the OPCs, which have the medicinal value. So when you extract that from it, this is what has medicinal value. But even this itself is made up of the really healthy OPCs, but tannins. Tannins are real high molecular weight, and you can even tan leather with them. But your body cannot absorb.
Right. So that's getting a little bit into people.
Okay, so what I want to say is, though, you have. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Denny.
Just tell me what's good for my body and how many a day do I take it. That's what people want.
But the thing is there are you have to understand that what you want is the medicinal value. That's it. Because you could go buy a product that was cheaply made and it's not even going to absorb in your body. Right. And that's what I want to tell you is then the industry shoots itself in the foot because all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. So if you want something to work for you, you need to make sure there's clinical research behind it. And so Terry came out with a product, that one that Claudia showed you, and that is tannin free. So every capsule, every soft gel is pure OPC, which is the medicinal value. And on an ORAC scale that measures the antioxidants, it's the actual highest ever. And out of 100 grams, it's 2 million on the ORAC scale, which blows you away. And people who don't understand the ORAC scale. Right. But when I had the store, we used to tell people, oh, blueberries are 6,000 on the ORAC scale. And people would be like, what's the ORAC scale? Well, I really don't know, but just buy it because it's good for you. And that's the problem is people don't understand that they want their cells to be cleaned off, and OPC can scrub the cells clean.
So OPC as an antioxidant helps protect the cells, correct?
And reverse the disease by scrubbing the cells off that have already been covered with inflammation. So if this is one of your trillions of cells and it's covered with inflammation, then it inside cannot work correctly because it can't even communicate and can't open up.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Claudia, if you were over here, I would be sliding that product over here on my side. So you save that for me.
I will
come into the store and pick that up because you know me, I need help with that as much as possible.
Well, and right on the box, the structure function claims that it says, these antioxidants are so important for healthy blood sugar levels, for the heart and arteries. We know that it can increase blood flow, and so this is a great all-around product. A lot of our customers have taken OPCs for many years, but this is a very clean, very to the point, very active product. So
right.
it's
I'm already on an antioxidant. So my question would be, is there too much you can take?
No, they have tested and tested and tested, and there's not, to anybody's knowledge, too much. And what I want to say is Dr. Ajay Goyal actually tests cancer, colon cancer, especially but all cancers. They're noticing OPC is just reducing the size of cancer tumors. Unreal. And Claudia, you probably have that visual.
Show them that little. Show them the book that we have at the store. Sometimes we're out of it, but this is a great book.
And I'm going to hurry up and show you. Oh, of course, when we're on live, you can't find it, but it is a graph showing, and it's like 7 days that the tumor has shrunk. I mean, they took pictures of it, and it's really unreal. The power
taking that product that Claudia just showed,
and she's not making a claim. We're not making a claim. It's clinical. Yes, these are clinical studies. And this book will show the clinical references in that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so, Claudia, I want you to put that product up front at the store with my name on it.
I'll do that. I will do that.
What other products you want to talk about, Claudia?
Beverly, why don't we go over? Let's talk about turmeric for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, you're talking about the true science behind how activity is extracted from a particular plant. And Denny, I just want to say, there's thousands of antioxidants from all different plants. So they come in different colors, and we know they target different things. So OPCs are one category of antioxidant activity. So when you ask, can you take too much? In general, of antioxidants, especially in this day and age, up against petrotoxins, we're going to talk about petrotoxins next week. With all the toxins that we're being exposed to every single day, our immune system and our cells need all the help it can get. So, all right, let's talk about this one now.
Okay, so Terry Lemron came out with on the cutting edge of this, because when I had the store, we weren't even talking about inflammation to this degree, and we weren't talking about turmeric and curcuminoids. Now, what you have to understand really clearly is that turmeric root looks like a sweet potato. So say it's this big. Well, about 97% of this is fibrous, fiber, a lot of it does have the turmeric oil. So this is the turmeric root. This is
right.
Okay, now what they have found, and a lot of testing, because over in India, how the curcuminoids are consumed from turmeric. So, turmeric is this big, only 97% is edible, you eat it and you sprinkle it on your food. But in order to get the medicinal value, which it's so high in antioxidant, it's 1.5 million on the ORAC scale for 100 grams of measured, versus the OPC French grapeseed is the 2 million. That's the highest they've ever found. But Terry ran into this because he was noticing so many people in pain nowadays. Pain was really big. So he's like, we in this industry, we really don't have a painkiller. People take the Tylenols and all the over-the-counter ones, and we need to find something without those side effects. So he was over in India and all of this, and they had done research on curcuminoids from the turmeric roots. So the turmeric roots say you extract the curcuminoids and the turmeric oils, pulverize them together, and you can have something that is easily then digestible. And not even mainly for our own body, it's really hard to digest certain things, but when it's pulverized so much, it's already done all the work for you. So when we ingest it, it can get into the bloodstream, and it's so high on antioxidant that it will scrub those cells clean. So what they then started doing was, getting rid of the inflammation. You bum up your knee, you have inflammation. That's the body's reaction.
Right.
But when you don't get rid of all that inflammation, it can cause nerve damage, arthritis to the cartilage, a lot of things. So you want that gone. And so they're finding that was so good for that. Well, then they found so much with cancers, the tumors that were getting just eradicated from this. And this is something I want to say, really stress this. When you're talking cancer, so we're talking pain again, and then all the diseases, arthritis, heart disease, up to cancer. When you're talking cancer with curcuminoids, the biggest thing you want to remember is that there are cancer stem cells. Stem cells are the most vicious cancer cells, and they go into hiding. And chemotherapy, they have not found one that will really kill the cancer, the stem cells. Now, I am not against medical. What I'm just saying is those go into hiding. Well, the curcuminoids can actually kill them. But when the stem cells come out of hiding, then some medicine can kill them. But when they go into hiding, it's like they can't find it. So what's so wonderful are the tests done with either combining medicine and the curamin or the curcuminoids, or doing it by itself is absolutely amazing. And then with OPCs and with the endographis and the other products to help our bodies be able to fight back and get cleaned up and clean up our cells so that they can communicate with each other. Better.
And that's it's very important. We're teaching people how to empower their immune system to do what it's meant to do. So
absolutely.
Yes.
So just like you're going to blow your nose if you have a runny nose, you're not going to just leave it, a runny nose in there. So you're going to clean up your cells, because that is the key to really having and being able to fight the fight the viruses.
Yes.
And but the thing is people who sometimes listen to us think, oh, I can never eat sugar again, or I can never do this again. And you know what? It's not that. I want to comfort people knowing that we live in a total polluted, life, really. And so we
modern
need
times
to make sure that we detox correctly and that we do clean up our body, but we can enjoy the sweetness of fruits and, some other, sugar that can come into the body slowly, not gush in with refined sugar. So,
all right, Claudia, what are the products you want to mention as we're making our way through our podcast?
All right.
Time is slipping away. What do you got?
So I want to we've talked about this before, but Andrographis, it's an amazing product. Lots of research on all these products, but this one's been documented a very, very long time. So, and I've shown this book before that we have at the store, Discover Andrographis, great book. Gives all the benefits of it. So, Beverly, anything, this helps support the liver and the immune system. And, so what would...
So I think, maybe what we can take away from this is that, for one, when Europharma or Terry Lemron comes out with a product, you want to have your ears open, because there's a reason that he's coming out with it, because it's been around thousands of years with Ayurvedic medicine, and it's healing. It's been such an amazing herb. And so in the last several years, when he kind of revamped it, he, through clinical research and everything, he really noticed and everything that the andrographoloids, the part of it, just like I'm talking that turmeric is this and the curcuminoids are the medicinal value, just like the grapefruit, the grapeseed extract and the OPCs. Well, we can also know that andrographis itself as a whole is beneficial, but the andrographoloids, those really are doing a lot of work. So that's what Terry bottled up. He wanted to take the andrographis and make sure that it had a certain amount of that part of the component of it, because that's where the testing was showing great results. And yes, you've
Yes,
been taking it for years, Claudia, and
I
now
have.
maybe, but it's just wonderful. When I was 17 and my mom opened the store, she let me know right then, when you hear that Terry Lemron has come out with a product, she kind of trained me to perk up and listen, because
Mhm.
he knew what he was talking about, and our, his passion is our health. I know there's a lot of people out there with passionate, hearts and everything. I know, but what's exciting is the research behind it. So whenever I stand and speak in front of an audience, I can
Yes,
honestly say I'm only telling you what the research has already proven.
exactly. Exactly. And we always remind people there's a lot of beautiful research on natural products. Is it being recognized? Not always, but it's there. And
Yeah,
grateful to Terry. I don't know how long I don't know when he started the company, but he's been in our industry a long time. I've been,
yeah,
blessed to speak with him a couple times over the years. He's very innovative, and he does a good job with bringing these products that are really studied to the market.
yeah,
So all three of these products can be used every day as beautiful immune support, but they're helping to support the body in different ways. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
Well,
just want just saying that when our cells, trillions of, that's what we're made up of, when they
right,
can communicate properly, just think about the beautiful, just good harmony that we can have then, from
right.
brain to our feet.
And I
Yeah.
think it's fair to say in modern times, we're faced with toxins that, you know, cultures before us did not have. They had their own issues, poor sanitation, and they didn't know microbes because they didn't have all these things. But we have very specific issues in modern times with these toxins, whether it's petro, whether it's heavy metals, whether it's GMOs. So the more that we can honor our immune system and honor ourselves by giving it the tools it needs, it's a beautiful thing. So,
That's wonderful.
And the
That you
better
put
we're
that.
all gonna feel.
yes,
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
that's all
Oh,
anybody wants to know. That's all
yeah.
anybody watching, listening right now. I mean, all the technical stuff, all the research is wonderful. Everybody wants to know, will it work? And how am I going to feel after I start taking it?
So,
Eh,
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, it's fair to say the more that people embrace their health through quality food, then everything, all these beautiful products are going to be able to work more efficiently because they're not up against constant. It's not a constant battle. So changing the diet is always important. And Beverly, you brought up about sugar. We've talked about sugar a lot of times on this show. The average American, it's estimated, are eating 150 pounds of sugar a year. I mean, that's just an extreme amount of it's not even a food. It's just, compromising everything in the human body. So the point is, everything works better when somebody is mindful of what they're putting in their body.
So
And
before we hit the airwaves, Beverly was telling us what sugar does to the body and what it does to the immune system. So in finishing up, Beverly, could you explain that to everybody watching and listening? Because this is stunning to me that this is happening.
So years ago, there was a study done, and then it's still, you can even Google this,
Mhm.
that when you consume like 50 to 75 grams of sugar at one time, it suppresses the immune system for 5 hours. So with that said, if you pleasure yourself with some refined sugar, and we're talking 50 to 75 grams of refined sugar that your body really it can hardly metabolize because it's
Right,
quickly, or
right,
or even over a period of maybe a certain time frame, that much sugar will suppress your immune system so you cannot fight off viruses for 5 hours. So that means you go out and you consume that much, and then you are around people who might be carrying a virus and you don't even know it, but at that time you're going to catch it. Your body can't fight it off. Where other days you might be
yeah,
able to fight it off. So you have to be careful. I mean, that's really, really something to remember.
right,
And
right.
That is such great information.
Isn't that
Just
amazing?
something as simple, as a couple of cookies or a frosty or something, and then
it
your
causes
body's
you
like,
to Yeah, and then you look at the label and think, how many grams have I been eating or something? Also, then consuming, like taking andrographis, then something to help your immune system when it's in suppression. Or, I mean, you've just got to think. You got to be, thoughtful about all that.
Yes, yes,
Beverly Clark,
absolutely.
that is such great information. Thank you so much. I tell you, Claudia, I learn every week, but I think I learned the most with Beverly. So, Beverly, thank you very much. We really appreciate you going on
Thank
with
you,
us.
Beverly.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
next time you can drive to Toledo and be in Claudia's plush studio that's being built as we speak.
I would love to. Give you a big hug.
Well,
we'll
thank
definitely
you.
have you back. So thanks for going on.
And give Dan a hug, will you?
Okay, I will.
Yeah, thank you
so much.
Many blessings to
care.
you. Thank you.
Wow, Claudia, that when you picture that, when you put that amount of sugar in your body, and you can do that at once, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you could have like a slushy from 7-Eleven. It's just packed with all that sugar.
Yeah.
And then your body's like, nope, you're on your own for the next 5 hours. That's a scary, scary thought.
Yeah, but remember, every time we put something in our body that it really doesn't want, it has to deal with it. It might taste good here at the taste buds, but then it's got to go through the system, and it's not just hitting the pancreas. The pancreas is connected to the whole endocrine system. So it affects everything in the body. So it's, that's why for years, what do we teach people? Just become more mindful about what you're eating, what you're drinking. Just put thought into it before you just chug something down. Recognize, you're probably not going to feel good after you ate it or drank it, but it's the accumulative effect of what we're witnessing. This is the problem.
Yeah. So, great episode, Claudia. Really good job. So,
thank you.
What are we doing next week? Do you know what we
got?
Well,
next week, you and I are going to talk about the toxins coming from petroleum. It's really a favorite conversation for me. We've been talking about it every day for years at the store. When I first learned about petrotoxins, which was many years ago, and then as more research came out and we understand clearly what they're doing in the body, we can't avoid them, but we can certainly learn how to reduce our exposure to petrotoxins in our own home and through mindful choices like what we're talking about. So we're going to have a conversation about that next week.
I look forward to that. By the way, Rose just jumped on and said, thank you, Claudia, for all that you do. Very informative.
So thank you, Rose.
For your kind comments. All right, Claudia, just like always, I'm going to give you the final thoughts.
Well, it's a beautiful day out. I hope everybody really looks around and focuses on their blessings and the love they have in their own life. And, a lot of people over the week, I talk with people every day. A lot of people have their own struggles. And, at the end of the day, we just have to support each other, keep the faith, focus on the blessings, and just keep moving forward. So that's it. That's what we can do. And I believe that with all of my heart. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. And we appreciate everybody that's sharing it and all the comments we're getting. It's fun. We're having a great time. Denny, I love you very much.
Love you too.
And I appreciate everybody joining us, and many blessings, everybody. Peace.